Started out alive, man, that was the play. Streaming every night, building up the sway. But as the sight faded, had to find my way. Now I'm hopping platforms, surfing through the fray. Got my crew behind me, yeah, we call them givers. Chillin' IRL, catching all the rivers. Farkle in the chat, bringing loss to the grind. Talking crypto games while we sippin' Jack Fine. Gives a minute, yeah, we take our time. Living in the moment, the life's a subtle rhyme. From the land down under, streaming through the night. New Zealand vibes, surfing waves day to night. Always looking for the next thrill, that's where I ignite. Community so solid, always shining bright. Rolling deep and cruising for the height. From the struggle to the stream, it's all just a game. But with the giver found, we're making our name. Jacking crypto profits, life just gets sweeter. Every view and every stream, making life a keeper. Give us a minute, yeah, we take our time. Living in the moment, the life's a subtle rhyme. From the land down under, streaming through the night. Got my heart on my sleeve, everything feels right. So here's to the journey, no regrets in sight. Each laugh and each tear, it's a beautiful fight. Keep the wave rolling, let the good vibes flow. We're the givers, together in the show. Gives a minute, yeah, we take our time. Living in the moment, the life's a subtle rhyme. From the land down under, streaming through the night. Got my heart on my sleeve, everything feels right. Service, I would play a game. From start to the next time, but chasing fame. But you're behind me, changing scenes. So through it and then living out the dream. Got my acoustic strong, curing and chill, far cracking jokes. Go stop the thrill in the land of Kiwis, we ride the waves. Our road streams phone, no better days. It's a minute, yeah, we take our time. Living in the moment, the life's a subtle rhyme.
Hello, the internet. It is Saturday, the 1st of August, 2026, and welcome back to the channel. Why was I being very quiet then? You know why I was being very quiet? It's because it's very quiet here. There's nobody in the chat. I thought things were broken. I thought they were so quiet because everything was broken, but everything's fine. There's just nobody here. That's fine. Well, it's not fine, but it is the way it is. And that's, you know, you got to roll with those punches as they come lining in. But today I did want to look at this stream that Elfsar did a little whiles back, a AI-generated stream, from what I understand. Actually, I don't know what the stream is, but I was told that I should look at it, and I was requested by the bold one himself to not do it unless he was there with. Now, I did reach out to him earlier today, and, well, he's usually pretty quick with the discordations, and this time nothing came through. So maybe we could at least put that to later in the stream, and we could just go on with our own content. And then if by, say, an hour's time from now we don't see the bold one himself, we'll go ahead and look at... By the way, how long is this video from Elfsar? I believe it's about a half an hour, Skins. I've got it tabbed. Yeah, it's 22 minutes. So we can definitely hit that later on. But I wanted to give the bold man himself... Why am I calling him the bold man all of a sudden? I don't know. I want to give him the opportunity to at least swing by and say hello, and then we will do the thing that we said we would do with the man himself. By the way, I say this every time, but I am using my own chat right now, not on screen, not on OBS. I'm just watching it on the sly or in the sidebar just to see how things work today. I've noticed a couple of things. Now, this is just a technical. This is something to do technical. Beamstream is not pulling in the correct pilled stickers, and it's not pulling in kick at all. So that tells me I might go ahead and pull it in myself, do it myself. If you wait for someone else, you typically wait well, you can be waiting a long, long time, and I don't want to wait any longer. So I might just go ahead and add those natively, because what I was going to do, and my chat right now is popping exactly how I want it, but what I was planning on doing was running my chat native, so using the APIs from Valora, so all the Valora stuff works flawlessly, and then using Beamstream, because they don't actually give you an API. They've been so slack with that, so stupidly slow with releasing the API. Like what I thought we were supposed to create on this platform and make cool stuff. They've got this API beta access. It's been like that since November of 2025, and it's now August 1, 2026, and it's still not ready. And by the way, you can request access, which I've done, and just nobody ever responds. So what I've done is I've built a scraper which scrapes the Beam chat and pulls in the Beam chat, which is the multi-chat. But when things like this, it's just not working on Kik, it's not pulling in the correct stickers from Pilled, I just say, why would we bother with that? Let's just build our own. Assuming there's an API and a dev portal for Kik, I'm assuming there is. I mean, it's such a big site. I haven't even looked at it, but I'm assuming that there is API endpoints. So I've been busy with that. But yeah, the chat does look good. I kind of want to show it to you, actually. Do you know what we should do? I should just I faff around with this too much, but hey, nobody's here anyway. Who gives a shit? By the way, I went surfing on the why is that all fake? Hang on a second. Get out of there. Excuse me while I touch this guy. I've got to enter my Face ID. Touch iPad to enter. Okay, what is that? Camera covered? Usually works every single time. First time, every time. Yeah, I went surfing on the Toothpick 2 today, Toothpick 2.0. So that's the video I've got for you today. What was I going to say? Oh, I was going to show you the chat. Should I do it? Look, who gives a shit? There's no one here anyway. Let me why is that? Oh, of course. That's my iPad. Well, text-to-speech is working. Forgot that was running in the background, but text-to-speech is working. If I go over... Is it here? I don't think I refreshed. Oh, no, I've got the other one up on screen. Look, you know what? We did this last time and it got all confusing. Turn off the Beam chat. Turn off viewers watching. That is there, right there on the screen. That is my chat in its beauty. Refresh those trousers. Let me just show you what I mean by when I say I've tailored this for Valora. Check these Valora chats out. This is me. And by the way, these chats will disappear after 45 seconds. That's not how they're going to be on my stream. I'm going to change that. So at the moment, they progress up the screen, and then after 45 seconds, they dissipate out to the left. I'm just filling up the space to show you that happening. Here comes a long block of text to see what that does. That's as far across as it goes. You want to do some emotes, some raid emotes. They come up beautifully. There are the dancing chickens, one of my favorites. Here is Boognish for those Ween fans. Now, if you want to grab my attention more so than ever before, you can send messages on Valora with message effects. Here comes a glow. Check this out. The glowing effect, that's the crimson glow. There is also a sunset glow, which looks like this. Looks beautiful. There's also a golden glow, which looks a little like that. Golden, golden, golden. And there is an emerald. I believe these are vaults redeemable. There's an emerald glow. Beautiful. This is to stand out from the regular Yahoos. Here's an azure. I love that word, azure. There is also a violet. Here is a violet. There's a violet. And then if you wanted to grab attention even further, you could put them all together in a rainbow effect. Look at this rainbow. It's doing all of them. And then there are other ones. These are space effects. These are called galaxy effects. This one here is nebula. Just gives it a little standout, a little space theme. Nebula, and then there is as Aurora, my bad, I was going to say Azura. Aurora, also the slight space effect there. There is Cosmic. Here comes Cosmic. Cosmic. And there is Stardust. These are effects that you can sling into the chat to stand out more than any other Yahoo. There's one more that I want to show you, though. There is Gigantify, which allows you to pick a emote. It says you can pick up to 2, but I think you can do more than that. But check this. I'll just pick up, let's say my mic's muted and I don't know it's muted. You choose Gigantify and put in 2 mics and bam, it gives it the little modular, it does that, whatever that is. It's moving. What else is there to shows you? Those are some text effects. You've got all of the emotes obviously work fine. Something else that I was particularly oh yeah, of course. Holy shit. Yeah, hold this shit for me. When someone follows on the Valoran skins, there are, oh wait, I haven't got my, if we go over here, haven't got my, because I'm just doing this as a test, I haven't got the shizzle up the whizzle that I needed for it. Hold on a second. I can grab it from this.
I just had my first dream about
Sophia. Oh shit.
Ever.
Forget this. I'm just grabbing.
First dream.
Forget that. I was just grabbing my by the way, I didn't know that had audio on. Does that mean every test stream I've been doing that's been playing? I didn't mean to do that. Well, if you've been watching my test streams, you've heard that dream over and over again. Why would you want to? Okay, here comes another test. I'm just going to add this into the Trouser browser. This is the pop-ups overlay. We'll center this to screen. This is center to screen and fit to screen. Transform fit to screen. Okay, so this puts this in the center of the screen. Now, if you do send one of these alerts that has, let's just say, what a beautiful
group of people you are. You are good. I wish I looked like you.
Now, at this point, you are hearing that twice because I've got that piped through Valora. Yo, Duncan, how you doing, man? Which images shouldn't exist? All of them, man. All of them. What a beautiful group of people. I'll just make sure you don't hear that twice. So now if I trigger, what a beautiful group of people, you should only hear it once.
What a beautiful group of people you are. You are good. I wish I looked like you.
I think it was a bit loud, but I turned it down. So those cards are there, but then of course, some of those cards do require an on-screen alert to pop up, such as the trumpet. So when you trigger... Now, silly boy, why didn't that come up? There it is. So some of these do have the on-screen pop-up. So these work. Which ones do have that? I'm not exactly sure. Let me find some. I know for a fact, perfect pops up. There we go. Perfect. I also know for a fact the lightning strike that killed me almost pops up. I might make these larger. Yeah, might make that larger. Hello there from Toothboy pops up. I know that for a fact. And I can't find it. This is just an example of how hard it is to find. This one doesn't have a pop-up.
This is reality.
This is a reality. But we can put pop-ups on all of them if you want, but I don't think they need it. I think only some of them need pop-ups. And, well, this one doesn't have a pop-up.
The sky is blue, but sometimes it's gray.
This is a fact. This is true.
Oh, hi, Mark.
I did not hit her. I did not. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. Oh, hi, Mark.
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not.
I did not.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark. So those are the cards. They now all work fine. That's Valora. That's a Valora native thing. The other thing that is native to Valora, which I'm so psyched on, is Duncan. All of them, huh? Now that what you mentioned, they're right. They shouldn't. I'm not sure which images you're talking about, but I believe none of them should exist in the world of images. Let's get rid of all of them. There is something else Valora has up its sleeve, which I've now minimized in the time that I've taken to set up this stream. And those things are Valora stream alerts. So these things are stream alerts that come through when someone does something, such as follows the channel. Here comes a test of a follow. Now, interesting. Where is the audio for that? There should be audio on. Oh, interesting. Okay, that's great. I'm glad I'm doing this stream because that should have audio to it. But I guess what I'm trying to show you is the Valora stream alerts that'll overlay the card in the chat lane and the above screen alert. By the way, if I turn back on just for the sake of this stream, you will hear those alerts, I believe. Let's turn these back on. But you'll see them twice.
Woo! You got here first!
Speaking of getting here first, speaking of Valora stream alerts, that's doubled up because of, thank you, Doug. By the way, that is a new one too. I've got to fix that. Let's get a screenshot of that because that needs fixing. The Valora stream alerts should include the first and second place to the stream, but thank you, Doug. How you doing, man? So yeah, these do work.
This is sick.
This is sick. Let's get rid of the double up again. I don't want that to double up. I was referencing your stream title. Forgive my ignorance. I'm out of the loop. My stream title today. Oh, this image shouldn't exist. Right. So Duncan, what you're talking about and what I didn't realize you were talking about is we're going to react to Elfsar's AI generated something. He did something like, okay, Elfsar made a video. Apparently he used AI to do it. And all I've been told is that I need to watch it because it's great and it'll blow you away. And further to that, Dale said, when you do watch this, I want to be here to see it and I want to be here to react. So I did reach out to Dale and he has not responded. So we're going to give him a little whiles longer and then we're just going to say tough tits and we'll come and do it ourselves. But I want to see what this AI thing is. The video is called, yeah, what you said. This image shouldn't exist. By the way, so that's my chat overlay. I'm glad I just did that little test because now I know that I've got to work on it some more. So let's get rid of it, or let's just bring the other chat back up. This chat here will just have to do for today. Gotcha. Glad I didn't miss it. Yeah, no worries, man. It's good to have you, Duncan. It's good to have you. Yankees are always late to the game, Dusky. Speaking of the game, I now understand that my sister didn't quite spoil the World Cup for me because, and by the way, I'm still in the group phase. I'm on the last day of the group phase. So at this point, it's been impossible to avoid knowing who plays in the final. And I'm almost 110 million% correct, or think I'm correct, that it's not France. Shit. It's Spain and Argentina. I'm pretty damn sure of that. I've heard all kinds of other things and I haven't looked, but the reason I'm confident it's Spain and Argentina. Well, when I say I haven't looked, I mean I haven't been on social media at all. I haven't logged into Facebook, aside from across the ocean to make posts for that. I haven't logged into Facebook or Twitter since the World Cup started. But what I did do, and this is not my fault, okay? There's some cracker knockout games for you to watch. There's some good ones coming. Baxter told me, who did he say? Fuck. Oh, I'll read out the message. Baxter told me, oh, excuse me. By the way, I'll tell you a story. My new mantra in life is, you know the saying, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take? I'm taking every shot, and I missed big time on this one. Baxter said, Portugal v Croatia. Mind you, he told me that on the 3rd of July, so almost a month ago he said that game's a cracker. I haven't got to it yet. Let me tell you this funny story about missing. If you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So this, okay, I'll tell you, there's two parts to this story. And this involves my day job. I pick up this dude. He sits, and I say to him, by the way, so there's 2 days of this story, but the first day, I pick up this dude. I say, you're the first passenger, but there are 2 others joining us, so wherever you want to sit back there is fine. And I always say that because typically people sit right at the back and they keep to themselves, which I like. This dude sits right behind me. Like, not just the seat behind me, but the seat behind me in that spot, right? So he's basically like my elbow's almost touching his knee. And I'm like, that's lame, but okay, I did say you can sit where you want, so he does have that right to sit there. I would have thought he would have sat next to the window behind me because he gets his own little spot there, but whatever. Then we start driving, and by the way, I probably shouldn't speak like this, but then this fucker starts farting. Like, and I'm telling you, these are death bomb farts. Like, they are so bad. And like, you know that you're farting. Like, everyone knows their own fart, right? So he knows he's dropping these out. I'm not saying he's ripping them and they're echoing, but he knows he's farting because at that juncture, it's just me and him in the bus. The other 2 haven't arrived yet. So we're on the way to pick them up. And it's not me farting because I can hold my fart, right? I'll let him rip when there's no one in the bus, but I have respect for the passengers. He's letting them fly, and I'm like, fuck, this is horrible. And it's coming right there, like right in my. So I put on. I'm like, okay, this is horrible, and I felt like saying something to him, but I don't think I'm meant to. I don't think my boss or the owners of the business would be that enthralled if I said something about that. So instead of saying anything, I just turned the AC on and angled those vents, not the one on the right-hand side, but the 2 in the center console. I aimed them straight at him, turned it on full. This is winter, by the way. Full blast and cold air. So AC on all the way down on the blue side and 5 of the bars, and angled it straight at him. And I was like, that's it. That's how we're gonna drive for 2 hours because you can't hold your goddamn farts in. And I was ready for him to say something, and I was gonna say my response. If he had said, "Can you turn the air down?" I would have said, "I can turn the air down if you stop farting." I would have said it straight out. If he had have asked me, that's what I would have said. But he didn't. So we drove that whole trip. Other passengers joined us. He kept farting. The ride was just the stinkiest, awful, most horrible experience. That's day 1. The counterpart to that story, the second day, which was yesterday, what those days? Yeah, yesterday, Friday, I have one pickup to make here in Kalala Bay. I get to this place. It's this bombshell of a girl, like super hot, right? Super hot chick. And she's, by the way, she is the only passenger. So I get out and I say, can I help you with the luggage? I always do that, just be polite. Grab her luggage, and I'm catching a few glances. She's extremely hot, like 11 out of 10 kind of. And I grab her luggage, put it in the back, and I say, oh, by the way, you're the only passenger, so you can choose where you want to sit. And she, of course she does, chooses the very back of the bus, right? Literally the back row. So I'm like, okay, so there's going to be no chatty here. And anyway, she gets in, and I just explained the basics of, we're going to be at the airport at whatever. I'll make a stop if you need the bathroom, whatever it is. I'm going to have a podcast on here. If you need me, just shout out nice and loud. You can adjust the air vents if you need to, whatever. So then we start driving, and as the vehicle's closed in, we don't have the windows down or anything, I can just smell she has the most rad perfume. Like, I've still got the tail smell of this hideous farts from the day before in stuck in my nasal passage. So her scent was just like I was in another world just driving, going, keep it coming. Just keep whatever you've got there. Just give me more of it. And I'm just sitting there enjoying it. And anyway, we get to the airport, and this is the you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So when I dropped her out, I said, by the way, your perfume is just incredible, like so amazing, like, and I'll tell you why. And then I told her the story because the day before, this dude sat there farting this whole trip, blah, blah, blah. She's laughing and giggling. So I felt like we had a small rapport. And so then I've done this before, as you know, I've done this before, right? Might not be the smartest move, but I have done this before and it's ended up being a nightmare. But I did reach out to her after I went and dropped her, and then I went and had my break or whatever, sat at the airport. And I just grabbed her number and sent her a message. And I thought, as I was sending it, I was like, I didn't notice if she had a ring on. Like most times when I see a beautiful female, I'll check that wedding finger for the ring. I didn't do that. But I just sent her a message. And as I was sending it, I was like, what's the worst that could happen here? She can just say no. There's two outcomes here. She can say, hey, thanks, I'd like to see you or whatever. Or she could just say, no, thanks. Or a third option, she could just not respond. And spoiler alert, she didn't respond. She got the message and it said read, and then she just didn't respond. So the point of the story, one day I spent the same drive from, where did that guy get picked up? Sanctuary Point. From Sanctuary Point to the airport in absolute filth and disgusting, like almost vomiting. Like these farts were so horrible. Like I know a good fart and I can sometimes handle someone else's good fart. These were like, you had a dying, rotting fetus up your ass. Like this is just putrid. And then the next day, beautiful girl, really good smell. And I was like, how much yin and yang can I handle here? You know? And yeah, I kept looking, thinking maybe she'll respond. She hasn't responded. When did that? I sent it yesterday at 1:20. She read it yesterday. No response. So here's my take on it. She's just so busy, you know. She's international flying. She's just really busy. She's gonna get back to me when she gets back to Australia. She's not getting back to me. By the way, Panda Silly, I see that you did send a sticker on Pilled. However, the Beam chat's not pulling in stickers, and I haven't finished my own chat to pull in from Pilled as yet. So let me see the sticker. Hey, by the way, I sent that sticker myself earlier. Yeah, right. The Matrix kind of sticker. Yeah, cool. Good die. Okay. The stable coin. Is that P-Dye, the pulse chain version, or the other one? Hey, and also, Dugsky, Brussels sprouts are on the menu if Gibbs is picking you up for a 2-hour airport ride. Dude. Horrible. By the way, that does open up a question, doesn't it? Is it wrong? Like I've said something to a passenger when they were coughing and spluttering, and they had said that I'm sorry, I've got a cold, and they sat right there. I've actually asked them to sit at the back. So I don't know if it's kind of weird, isn't it? If you've got a disease, like if you've got a flu or a cold or COVID or something, it's within my rights and any human's rights to say, can you not come near me? And if you're in like a 12-seater Toyota Hiace and there's seats behind that aren't being used, well, first of all, they should have sat in those seats to begin with, but they didn't. And I stopped. I remember was from the airport, probably around, I don't know, Sylvania somewhere, and I just pulled over. And I pulled over and I said, excuse me, I don't want to be rude about this, but you've acknowledged that you've got a cold and you've come back from somewhere international and you're coughing and spluttering. Can I ask you to move to the back of the vehicle? That way I'm not going to get sick from you. I've got to drive here, and like I don't want to get sick and miss time from work because you've got a cold. Like we have masks as well. Like you can put a mask on, and just I'd be happy if we just move to the back of the bus. And then the other people can come forward, and so that I'm trying to separate you basically. And I feel like that's all right. Like there's nothing wrong with asking that. But if someone's dropping hell farts, can you say, hey, if you're going to keep farting, can you go to the back of the bus, or just not? Like, I don't care who you are. You can hold a fart in you can hold farts in for 2 hours. And by the way, I always say, if you need a bathroom, excuse me. If you need a bathroom stop, I can make that. Whenever you need to stop for something, there's not many bathrooms on the route, but I can, if you're a dude and you're just going to go behind a tree, I can do that as well. Whatever, But instead of dropping these hell farts and ruining the experience for everybody, hold onto it. Like, it's not that difficult, right? And it's not going to kill you. No one's died from holding in a fart. Duncan, always blame the dog, even when there's only 2 of you and no dog. Yeah, the dogs. The dogs are bad out there. We always have dogs in the bus. The dogs are bad. Yeah. So that happened, but yeah, that mantra, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. I feel like that's you know who lives by that mantra? Marty. Marty inspired me. Marty inspired me because he always spends a lot of time. Yo, Jason, how you doing, man? Which one is the main chat? I'd say Valora. By the way, the Kick chat's not pulling into Beam, so I see you up there on the Kick machine, but it's not coming through. Yeah, I like this concept of you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So it's like you're always, the idea of that is you're always going to come up empty if you don't try. So if you try, you may still not win, but you open up the opportunity. The very opportunity to win only comes by when you try. So I've got that in my mind now, and I'm taking every shot I get. Buru Padang sounds like a real name. Do you have any upcoming events? Well, funny you ask. Yes, I do. I'm going on a road trip. It's going to go north. I know you're not real, but I'm going to talk to you as if you're a real person. I'm going on a road trip with GoVan. It's going to go for 2 months. I'm going to live stream it for you yahoos to play along with. Oh, man, I got a story to tell you guys. Fuck. Should I break? You know what? Let me just double check. Should I tell you this now or wait for a final response? I'm just going to check that nothing's come through. Let me pre-tell you, and then I won't tell you, and then I'll tell you when I can tell you. But you know those 29 months of Starlink referrals that I've got tabbed up? They're not going to honor them. That's the spoiler. Starlink are not going to honor my 29 months of... Look, check this out. Where is my profile? What's the notifications? Where does this come up? Okay, check this out. This is on my Starlink app. You've referred 43 users, therefore you have 29 months of service awarded to your account. Nope. No, I don't. They're not gonna honor it. There's a reason they're not gonna honor it, and there's 2 reasons, and they're absolutely fucking awful. And I feel like Starlink need to take a big L on this, and I'm just giving them the rite of passage to respond, because we've already had a discourse, and I've explained that I'm going to make a YouTube video, or at least a live stream with a clip from it, explaining this, because I think this is a scam, and it's a shame that Starlink are taking this angle, but I have given them that extra few days to come up, because I've said, am I to take this as your official response and I'll use this in my video, or did you want to issue an actual official response? I'll wait for that. And it's been 2 days and they haven't got back to me. They've said they've escalated it, but they haven't got back to me. But basically, they're not honoring my referrals. And I kind of want to tell you why. But I mean, I am going to do a video. I'm going to do it properly. But if I do it now, then I don't know. Actually, no, I'll just tell you. Okay. 2 reasons. The first reason they're not honoring is because I didn't buy the Starlink dish from the Starlink website. Go figure. I bought it from a retail store, so therefore they're not honoring the referral. I don't understand why that would make a difference, but that's what they're saying. Unless you buy on our online store, even though we give you the opportunity to generate a referral link, and even though we've logged that you own the Starlink dish with the IEEE number, even though we've married those up to your account, even though we know that you didn't buy it on the secondhand market, we know that you bought it for real, but firsthand at a retail store, we're not going to honor you the referral, even though you've already used it and even though you brought in 43 users, of which 29 have actually signed up. That's one of the reasons. That's enough of a reason to be angry, right? But the second one is even worse. Second reason they're not going to honor the referral is because I live in Australia and people that have used my referral are outside of Australia. You heard that right. They're not going to honor it because the users that signed up don't live in Australia. We're talking about global fucking internet. It's satellite. It's above the planet. Why is it geofenced to a country? Why? Like, what are you talking about? Of all the businesses to claim that as a reason, you wouldn't think a global satellite internet, use it wherever you are, would have that in their terms of service, but it's right there. The users that you refer must live in the country that you've referred from. The fuck are you talking about? Those two reasons, I was like, I got so angry when that came through. Because what happened was, I noticed that my account had been billed. And I was like, why am I getting billed for Starlink? And I went back and had a look, and I've been billed for Starlink every month. I thought they were using my referral credit. I went back in and had a look, and they haven't. Every month I've been billed $210. So I'm like, wait, run this by me again, Starlink. You have a referral. You gave it to me to use. You've allowed me to refer 42 users, 29 of which have signed up and are using the service. And when I realize that I'm not actually getting any credit for that, you then tell me, no, it's because you can't do that. You can't use the referral. So I can't, but you can? Even though I've pumped it out all over the place, I've added it to most AI chatbots. I've added it to my YouTube channel. I've added it to nearly every YouTube upload I've made in the last 5 months. I've added it to all of my streaming platforms in all the about sections. So I'm not allowed to use the referral that you generate for me when I say generate a referral link. And the reason I'm not allowed to is because I bought my device from a retail store, not from your online store. That does not make any sense at all. That only makes sense if it's a second-hand model, and you can prove that by the account number that the hardware device is linked to has changed over time. No, I bought it brand new, boxed, brand new from a retail store. You issued me the referral by virtue of me clicking on a referral link generator in your website. I've used the referral. 49 people have used it themselves, 29 of which have signed up. And you're telling me that they're not valid because of that reason and that most of them signed up outside of Australia? What are you talking about? Like, Starlink, you deserve a big, big, big slap for that. And this is what I've said to them. I've said, you need to honor those 29, like 10 toes down, right? You need to honor those 29 referrals. If what you're saying is correct, which by looking at the terms of service, it is, that is in the terms. If that's the case, then you should not allow a user to generate a referral link from your website based upon those criteria. Even better than that. The user should not be able to generate a Starlink referral link unless they've purchased the product through the web store. If that product has come into their account not via the web store, the very concept of clicking generate a referral link shouldn't exist. That should not be there. Secondary to that, the moment someone goes to use that referral link and they're not, in this case, in Australia, the referral link shouldn't be there. They should say that referral is only for Australian users. Bad luck, find a new one. Instead, what does Starlink do? They allow me to generate the link, they allow me to post the link anywhere, and they allow anyone to use it and sign up. So they get the benefit, they get the kickback, they get the 49 users, I get nothing. And when I ask about it, only because I noticed now, it's been 5-6 months, I noticed that I'm still being billed. When I ask about it, they say, no, that referral is not valid. So what is it? Is the referral valid or is it not valid? It doesn't make any sense. And I feel like it's a scam, right? They're scamming users. Call customer service and tell them to put you through to Elon. He'll be livid. I mean, I am going to make a more succinct video, but this is like a rehearsal. I'll do this again. Like I said, I am waiting for a final. I'll read you their response, but I am waiting for a final response from them because I have it's not fair that, well, at this stage they think. Where is this? At this point, they think this app is a bit clunky. Got to go to the bottom. At this point, they think they're just talking to me. But I've said, no, look, I'm a YouTuber and I will be reporting on this. I said, this is on July 30. I said, by the way, they don't have a time zone. Of Starlink saying you can't refer outside of Australia. They called me at like 1 o'clock in the morning. My phone's on Do Not Disturb. It lights up at 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, what the fuck's that? I wake up in the morning, you missed a phone call from Starlink. They actually called me. So on July 30, in that morning, 8:12 a.m., I said, am I to understand this is Starlink's final decision on the matter? If so, I'll take the above as your official statement and use it publicly on my YouTube channel, which I linked, and other social media postings to alert others to the scam you are running. Please be aware that I've contacted users outside of Australia who have used my referral and they've successfully been credited with a free month use. So ultimately you are honouring the referral for new signups but not honouring the referrer. I wonder how many other referrers are in the same position I am. Disgusting behaviour from a company who says they know better. Mohammed then responded with, "Hi Benon, I completely understand your frustration with the referrals credit situation. I truly appreciate your patience and effort in providing all the details so far. By the way, they asked me to send emails of all the referrers that have used my code. I'm like, how the fuck would I know that? How would I know who's used my referral? Like, that's the dumbest thing ever. But anyway, we value your perspective and are committed to handling this fairly, no scams, just ensuring we follow our program guidelines while resolving for you. My name is Muhammad. Actually, it's Muhammad. Mahanad. 2 N's in the middle, Muhammad. And I'll personally look into this further to confirm our final position. We're actively working on your case and we'll reach out soon with an update. Thank you for your feedback. Thank you, your feedback helps us improve. No shit. Yes, you do need to improve. And then Mahanad came back without me responding, said, thank you for your patience. I'm escalating your ticket directly to our billing team, who will thoroughly verify the eligibility of your referrals and confirm the next steps. They'll reach out to you soon with an update. So that was on what day did I say that was? The 30th of July. So then on August 1, I said, any updates as yet? It's been 2 days. And Mahanad has not responded. And so therefore, I'm not going to tell you the story right now. I'll save it. No, see, I've just blown it, right? Once they do respond, and my take on it will be that they're going to respond and say, A, you bought this outside of our online store, and B, you're referring outside of Australia, therefore all of them are invalid. That's what I think they're going to say. And if they do, that is horrible, but I'm going to just make a video flaming them. That the point will be that they've clarified it, they've explained it, and they're not going to budge. I'm going to make a video saying, so there are people that use my referral successfully. Great. New Starlink referrers, new Starlink customers come through me. I get nothing from it. They at the minimum, they should honor at least half of them. I mean, I think they should honor all of them. But if they we don't know what they're going to do. Duncan, in all seriousness, those conditions are shockingly dodgy for 2026. Imagine it, dude. Imagine, like, of all the companies to do this, a global satellite-based internet provider, they literally promote using it anywhere you want on the globe. Maybe not on water, but you can take it overseas to different countries. That's the point of it. It's like saying these great soccer shoes, they're awesome to wear. Just don't wear them on a soccer pitch. They're not for that. You can only wear them to soccer-related events, such as gatherings of your favorite sporting teams and watching the game. But if you try to wear these on the field, they're not for that. They're not, you can't, that is as dumb as what this is. And not buying it from our online store, what difference does it make where I bought it? Like, what if you don't use online purchasing? I mean, I don't know who does that in 2026, but Imagine that being a condition. You didn't buy it from our online store. No, I didn't. I bought it from, I think it was JB Hi-Fi. So what? Because I purchased it through a retailer, my purchase isn't valid? What? The first thing you do when you buy it from anywhere is go and register it on Starlink. You have to register it through Starlink. You got to look on the back and find there's a QR code and there's an IEEE number. You got to know, you got to do all this, right? Like, what difference does it make? Like, unless there's someone making knockoff Starlink dishes out there, that's the only logical conclusion. This is a Starlink Mini. Like, there's like what are you saying? Yeah, Comtech, how you doing, man? The dude's name has a typo in it. He sounds competent. He's typoed his own name. Comtech, yeah, man, they're not honoring any of it. What is it? 29 months. 29 months of referrals from Starlink, and they're not honoring it. At this point, they're not doing it, dude. They're saying no. It's off. And by the way, I've got to pull my referrals down. Where is my? Yeah, 43 users referred. 29 months of service awarded. Even that, it says it's already been awarded. It says it's already there. That should also be I might add that as a point of contention at the end. I'm like, you can't take away something you've already said's there. Like, it actually says months of service awarded, 29 months. So either you awarded them or you didn't. If there was a problem, it should come up there. It shouldn't say it's there. It should say, by the way, there's an information button there. Press the information button. It says months of service credit awarded to your account. Service credit is awarded after Starlink is activated unless cancelled or returned within 30 days. Yeah. So that's the requirement from the referee's point of view. They get a free month, but it only comes in the second month. And that's why you see a discrepancy, 43 versus 29. So 43 people have signed up, but out of those 43, only 29 of them have gone through to that second month. So it's pretty shit, isn't it? It's pretty shit, dude. Even though you have a referral at Comtech, I don't know if you just came in, but I'll give you the hot take. There's two reasons why they're not honoring the referral. And hello, Melody, how you doing? Get this, dude. Get this. The first reason, and I'll do this quick because I've done it already, but this is a rehearsal because I'm going to make a proper video on this, but the first reason is because I didn't buy the Starlink Mini from the online store. I bought it retail. I bought it through a retail store. I don't know why that makes a difference, but apparently they don't honor the referral unless you buy it through the online chain. Even though once you buy the device, you've got to register the device on the online portal. So you take the information from the hardware, you enter it into their website, and it says you've got a valid device there. Here you go, off you go. And then oddly enough, it then allows you to generate your referral link. So that's a bit weird. And then the second reason, yeah, question marks, Melody. And by the way, I do see that. I see that. I know it doesn't come up in the chat, but I do see it in my chat overlay. So those Valora emotes will come up in my own chat. Question marks. I love it. I love it. Let me show you what that looks like. Actually, can you just send that one again quickly? Send that one again quickly, Melody. I'll show you what my chat screen looks like. Look at that. Let's make that larger. That's my chat overlay. Almost finished. Getting there. Yeah, what the fuck? Question mark. Yeah, nice. And so the second reason they're not honoring the referrals, this one will blow your head right off. Because I live in Australia and the people that use my referral link are not in Australia. They're using it outside of Australia. Tell that to a global satellite-based internet streaming company. I live in Australia. The device I've bought is a Starlink Mini, which allows you to access internet anywhere on the planet, wherever you are. If you use my referral link and you're not based in Australia, you can still use it. You can still get that credit, but I can't. 29 people have done it. I can't. I get no credit from that. That's already happened, right? That's already happened, but I get nothing from it. It's fucked up, isn't it? What? Oh, that was weird. On Hover Pride Month. Oh, that's the sticker. By the way, I love Valora, man. Check this out. Check these badges. So I've got the broadcaster badge, and Comtech's got his. Look, how clean is it? Looks so clean. Hey, like you've got your avatar. And by the way, I'll just show you when other platforms chat. So if you chat on Beam looks like kind of a little bit bland. Beam does have some interesting emotes though. Here comes a chat from Beam, and then I've got the emotes from Beam. These ones do look pretty cool. No! We killed what? No, it killed the really? These were working yesterday. Ah, you idiot. So I've killed the emote somehow on Beam. Okay, fuck me. Just when I get it working perfectly. Perfectly. Bugger. It was working. Here comes a YouTube chat. Where can we pick and choose? I'd rather the badges be a choice. Yeah, do you know what? I'll say that too. I feel like, especially, I mean, look, Pride Month is a contentious one because it's June and it's now August and that badge is still there. So that shouldn't be there to begin with. But, yeah. Oh, I've got to add the avatars to the YouTube. Okay, cool. Okay, so there's things to be done. But I'll tell you what I do love in my overlay. Check this. When someone does a stream alert from Valora, let's just say someone resubs. Are you kidding me? Did I break that? Did I break it? Fuck me. I broke something. How did I break it? Just by using it. This was working earlier. I got super excited and I thought I'd show it to you, and it's not working now. This is good to check though, because this stuff should be working. And we see who gives it a minute. Now you won't hear that on this scene. You won't hear. I don't think you would hear that. No, you wouldn't have heard that. My bad. We see you gives it a minute. There's Ethan Klein. I got to fix these a little bit, but man, it kills me that that's not working. Okay, bugger. All right, I've got to fix that later. Anyway, we digress. I digress because I'm getting too carried away with all this. What a beautiful group of people you are. What did that
look like you?
There you go. I had turned it off. Interesting. Now I'm confused. I'm not confused, but I'm confused. But basically, I'm also annoyed. I'm annoyed.
Where I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay?
Did I hear correctly? Is Trump going to run for a third term? That's not allowed, is it? You're not allowed to do that, but he's going to, isn't he? Is he going to change the rules and go for a three-peat? I write the rules. I can change the rules.
I write this script.
You better write this script. You better get that checked out. Oh, Creaky, you look better on my big screen. Hey, so anyway, I did go surfboarding on the toothpick. I got a video for you. I'm going to play it for you, and then we're going to move on to some content. We're holding off to see if Dale turns up. If he doesn't, fuck him. If Dale doesn't turn up, we'll just go ahead and watch. We'll watch Elfsar's thing. But we'll pause for a moment here. This is the toothpick.
They have nothing going on other than they have big mouths.
That's all they've got, big mouths. We'll pause for a moment here and take a look at the Toothpick 2.0 in action from today's surf. And I'll be right back with I'm going to get a beer. I'm going to get a homebrew. Yes, I am.
Well, what a special occasion this is. What's the date today? It's August 1, August the 1st, 2026. It's the first session on the Toothpick 2.0. The second board Benny Crawford designs has shaped me. The difference with this one and version 1.0, this one's a little longer. This is 6'6". I left it into Benny's control to, I guess, watch my surfing and figure out what this kook needs. And so this design is all him, and it's kind of similar to the version 1, but it is a little wider in the nose and slightly wider near the tail. I have got brand new everything, brand new fins, brand new tail pad, brand new leash. The only thing I haven't got brand new is an ability.
You're already back? Give me a second.
Konnichiwa!
Konnichiwa! H-man, how you doing, dude? From whence do you come? Are you at the rehab still? Good to see you, dude. Don't look at me crack open a beer if you're in the if you are at the rehab, because I salute your attempts. I salute your not attempt, that's the wrong word. I salute your position. Good to see you, man. I'm well. Well, that's great, man. That is great. This is homebrew, not suggesting anyone do anything except I'm doing something. Jesus. Had a pour. What is... Oh, there's something in there. What is on that glass? What was that? For a second there, I thought it was moving. I don't know what it is. It's like a splinter. It's either in the glass or it was in the beer. A little bit of fiber, mate. You're at the rehab. Okay. Well, I hope everything's going well, Hendrik. And we got your back, your front, your side. We got it all. By the way, your handle. Can you just chat once more, Hendrik? Oh, you are just look at his handle in my Valora chat. Gloria in all her glory. Look at the H-man there. Yeah. And by the way, these message effects in Valora, like this sunset glow. Look at this. Looks so slick, doesn't it? Yes, sir. Yeah. I'm soaked. My chat's going to be rad. When it's finished, it's going to be tits, mate. It's going to work. I mean, I know it's going to work well because I'm not going to show you anything until it's fully finished. That's a lie. I can't stop showing it to you. All right, let's move on. Not just a stunning guitar decanter for anyone who remembers the feeling of being young, free, and lost in the music. What is this? Some people collect things. Others collect. This is Netsky said I would like this. Some people collect things. Others collect memories. For me, it only takes a few notes for an old rock song to bring them all rushing back. The roar of the crowd before the lights come up. Blah bling blang blang. What is this? It is a. Oh, it's a whiskey decanter, shaped like a guitar. Huh. Okay. Okay, well, I'll just say something about that. I don't think I'd like that. I appreciate that you thought of me. I mean, yeah, it's what is this box that it's there? Hey, ChatGPT, make me a Jack Daniels box that looks like Jack Daniels but doesn't say Jack Daniels anywhere. And it's flat number 9, not old number 7. Wow. Okay. Yeah, look, those things, I mean, they're a trinket, I guess, like a little it's not something that I it's not for me. I don't know. If someone got that for me, I'd be like, thanks. But in the back of my mind, I'd be like, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. I mean, I'm going to drink the whiskey, but I don't know what I'm going to do with it after that. Hendrik, likely to extend my stay here by another 6 weeks. Another 6 weeks, dude. Are you allowed visitors, man? Because I might have to come and visit you when I come by on my road trip. Fender sent another cease and desist. Huh? They did?
Fender have sent another cease and desist. And I'm sure you're thinking, that's not exactly news, but it's entirely different from the cease and desist you've heard talked about recently. And it's very fresh. It's technically sent today because...
Why do we care about this? So, okay, I guess we got to watch to find out. Your brew is not triggering me, which is great. Yeah, man. This beer's rubbish anyway.
Technically sent today because it was sent in Australia to a guitar store specializing in used guitars. And based off Fender's tendency to...
Wait, why is this not in sync? Can I refresh my trousers here? I might have had this tab open for a while.
Fender have sent another cease and desist.
Huh?
And I'm sure you're thinking, that's not exactly news, but it's...
Drop it down to 7.
Fender have sent another cease and desist. And I'm sure you're thinking, that's not exactly news.
We'll just watch it.
But it's entirely different from the cease and desist you've heard talked about recently. And it's very fresh. It's technically sent today because it was sent in Australia to a guitar store specializing in used guitars. And based off Fender's tendency to bulk cease and desist, I would not be surprised if this wasn't an isolated case. So let's take a closer look at this and talk about it, because it's entirely different from what you've heard about so far with Fender. Now, the background of this story is fairly straightforward. There's a guitar store in Australia called Cool Old Guitars, and they specialise in, well, cool old guitars. They've got...
By the way, can we just check, just by opening up YouTube in general and seeing if it's just this video? Hey, look, there's this dickhead. Let's just see if it's...
Okay.
Just fixing a section of my airless tire.
You can't buy airless mountain bike tires.
No, it's not. It's I gotta refresh the whole freaking browser because something's wrong. Let me shut down the Firefox machine. Shut it down. We'll come back in there because I can't watch YouTube like that, you know? I can't. I won't. Let's see if that fixed it.
Fender have sent another cease and desist.
It did not. It could be because I've got a tab open in Discord, which is a share screen for I'm going to close Discord. I'm just going to close Discord. I don't know if that's the reason, but we'll see. Refresh my trouser.
Fender have sent another cease and desist. No. And I'm sure you're thinking, that's not exactly news, but it's entirely...
I don't know if I can watch this. It's all out of sync. What possibly could it be? I've got terminal open, close terminal. I guess I've got my coding, Final Cut's open. Final Cut's been open that whole time. Hendrik, I just had a visitor, but it needs to be pre-approved and has to be Saturday or Sunday. Could need to give me dates and times about a week beforehand. Oh, okay. I might not be able to do that, given I'm just cruising around willy-nilly. We'll see, we'll see. Duncan, fun fact, if you watch it with your eyes closed, it resolves the sync issues.
But it's entirely different from the cease and desist you've heard talked about recently. And it's very fresh. It's technically sent to...
I'm just going to trouser refresh again.
Fender have sent another cease and
what else have I got open? I got my music open. I got my code editor open. Let me just close shit willy-nilly. Let me close Firefox one more time. The virtual camera was on. Maybe try in a different browser trouser. That's a good idea. Yeah, Braveskis. Yeah. Let me just see if this did make a difference.
Fender have sent another cease and desist. And I'm sure...
How many cease and desists is this now from Fender? Fender have sent... I mean, I could open it up in Brave Trouser Browser, right? Of course I can. We'll just go with that. I'll just bring it up in the trouser browser of Braveskins. Yeah, this is the workaround. We'll see.
Fender have sent another cease and desist.
It's not that.
And I'm sure you're thinking...
Oh! Do you know what it could be? SoundSource had an update. You know what it is? Huh? I think it was defaulting to a different output.
Another cease and desist.
Yeah, dude. Wow. Okay, get this. I just fixed it, and I think I know what I did. So, it wasn't Firefox. My audio routing, which is done by a program called SoundSource from Rogue Amoeba and Loopback in conjunction, SoundSource did have an update, which I did before this stream, and once it had opened, it had changed my default output to an AirPlay speaker. And so that lag that you were seeing was the sound from Firefox was also going to the AirPlay speaker, which happens to be in my bathroom. I couldn't hear it, but it's in the bathroom. And so the sound that you hear is audio routed through OBS, but because it was first of all going to that speaker, this is the latency. There's always an air gap between leaving blah blah bling blong blang. I think I fixed it. And I can check it by just going back to Firefox Trouser Machine and pressing play. Yep.
And I'm sure you're thinking, that's not exactly news.
Swish.
But it's entirely different from the cease and desist you've heard talked about recently. And it's very fresh.
Hendrik, I'm now officially a diamond dotter like Giggle Pickles. I don't know what that means. What's a diamond dotter? And we do know that Fender have sent a cease and desist.
It's technically sent today because it was sent in Australia to a guitar store specializing in used guitars. And based off Fender's tendency to bulk...
Let's skip forward.
The guitar store in Australia,
cool used guitars.
They've got 2 physical retail locations and they've got a web store. And a lot of the guitars that they specialize in are the old stuff from Japan. The Grecos, the Arias, the Fernandez, the ESP, the Ibanez stuff. But they also have some Fender stuff and some Gibson stuff. But all of this is used instruments. They're secondhand used guitars.
Wait. Is this going to be... Duncan, are you still watching? Is this going to be corporate came in and took over the chain and they didn't have... There were no Fender guitars here. The cease and desist was to get the guitars back. It's bricks and mini Fenders.
And I think it's important to mention that they specialize in these old 70s made in Japan guitars, and a lot of them are from what we would call the lawsuit era of guitars. It was an era where the Japanese manufacturers were copying instruments from Fender and Gibson, and I think it's fair enough to say that this Fernandez, for example, from the 70s, is a Strat copy. In fact, according to...
Hendrik, it's an art form by painting using plastic balls on paper. Oh, okay. Cool, man.
Fender's own CEO, we shouldn't be calling these S-type guitars. That's whitewashing. We should be calling these Stratocasters.
That is an unmistakable body shape, signature curves, unmistakable spirit that Leo Fender, from his own head and his own heart and his team, poured into their souls more than 7 years ago into this product. And let's also be very specific. We're talking specifically about the Stratocaster, because that's what this is really about. Calling it simply the S style or the S shape is an attempt to diminish and whitewash the immeasurable,
that would be reckless,
changing contribution that Leo and his team made to the entire industry.
So with that in mind, from Fender's own CEO, S-type is a dirty word. You should be calling them Stratocasters. This retailer has categories to where you can buy their guitars. One of the categories is Stratocaster, another category is Telecaster. Fender have the trademarks for different words. Words like Fender, Squier, Stratocaster, Telecaster.
Wouldn't the sound be different? Yeah, all these knockoff guitars don't sound like the originals. Of course not. But it doesn't really matter with the amount of like mods you can get for amps and stuffs and different pedals. And you can make a guitar sound like anything. You can make a tennis racket sound like a guitar. Not really. We do traditional painting using acrylic paint on canvas. Lots of fun and great people. Man, it sounds like you're having a good time there, H-Man. Stoked for you, dude.
Strat, and Tele. And Fender have sent a cease and desist to this retailer for using the word Stratocaster and Telecaster in the descriptions of these guitars that they're selling. Fender is concerned that the manner in which Cool Old Guitars is presenting and offering for sale its second-hand stock infringes Fender's trademark rights and is likely to mislead, deceive, or otherwise confuse Australian guitarists into thinking...
This is my take on this. It's fair enough from Fender to do this. I feel like if this retail, COG, Cool Old Guitars, if they're selling secondhand knockoffs, I think it needs to be indicated that they're not originals. Like, that's fair, right? To call them Stratocasters when they're not, that is fair. Like, they should have to say, these are imitations or these are knockoffs. They're the shape that you know as a Stratocaster. They are in that style, but they are not. And I don't know if they are selling them as... Like, if they're selling them as originals, then that's fraudulent, right? So this is a fair enough cease and desist, I feel. I'm really enjoying it, and it feels amazing to be sober. That's congrats, Hendrik. Congrats, man. Yo, Was after Nizzle. How you doing, man? Yeah, I don't know if you're Was. You might have even put me onto this story. I don't know if what your take on this is, but I feel like this is fair enough.
They are buying Fender instruments when in fact they are purchasing instruments manufactured by unauthorized third parties. This seems to be because of how Cool Old Guitars presents Fender instruments alongside third parties' instruments that mimic our clients' distinctive guitars and parts thereof, including but not limited to body shapes, headstocks, and other distinctive attributes. Now, an important note here that Fender's lawyers, at least in Australia, seem to be...
It's just funny how they're making issues just now, because I mean, everyone's had a knockoff, right? I've my first guitar. By the way, I'm pretty certain this is a knockoff. Can I even? How do you even tell if it is a knockoff? You know what? How do you know if you've got a knockoff? I mean, it's got a It's got a serial number, and it's made in Mexico. Should we punch in the serial number? Doesn't have... I'm going to punch this serial number in and see. You know what? Mexican Strats are cheaper? Wait, so this is a Strat, like an official Strat, but it's just made somewhere cheaper? Okay. Let me punch. I mean, it does say Fender Stratocaster, right? So I guess just to have that up there. Let's punch in a GPT machine. Say I want to check the legitimacy. How do you spell legitimacy? Can't spell correctly, but that'll do. Of my Strat. It's made in Mexico, and the serial is MX. I wonder what that stands for. 110692220 skins. Based on the serial number, there are a couple of things we can tell. MX, made in Mexico. The Ensenada factory, Ensenada. 11, built during 2011-2012 production. Fender's MX serial uses formats, yeah. However, the serial number alone cannot prove authenticity. Counterfeits can copy valid-looking serial numbers. Fender's own database doesn't include every instrument they've made. Excuse me? Well, whose fault is that? In fact, Fender explicitly states that a missing lookup result is not evidence that a guitar is fake. Shit. Here's what I'd check next. Upload a photo. Wow. Is the serial printed on the back of the headstock? Yep. Oh, let's do a lookup. Let's do a Fender lookup. An official Fender lookup. I am not a robot. Select all the squares with buses. Man, these things kill me here. That's a bus. Wait, it's got to have a part. See, when you guys do this, what's your take on these two squares here? These two squares on the right, there's still a part of the bus in it, right? So you got to click these ones as well. And there's the shadow of the bus there. Is that what you do? The squares that I have not selected have none of the bus in it. Search. There you go, folks. It's real. The model is 0144602332. It's a Fender Strat MN BSB tint. Date of manufacture July 2011. This checks off too. My My ex bought it for my birthday in 2011. This is the exact model, or at least the knockoff of the exact model Dean plays in Ween. That's why my ex got it for me. So I've got an original Fender, but a Mexican-made one. Okay. That's cool. We went on a little tangent just there, but let's go back to looking at why they're issuing the cease and desists.
Very openly claiming that the body shapes of the Stratocaster and Telecaster are distinctive to Fender only, which Fender don't have trademarks for the Strat or Tele body shape in Australia. So what they're claiming here seemingly has no legal basis. Sure for the headstock, but not for the bodies being distinctive to Fender only. That's simply not the case. For instance, at the Stratocaster category on the website, Cool Old Guitars offers for sale Anboy, Aria, Bill Lawrence, Cool Z, ESP, Fernandez, Greco, History, P Project, Moon, Samick, Schecter, Tokai, Thompson and Yamaha guitars and parts, including tuners, tremolo bridges and pickguards, under and by reference to Fender's Stratocaster.
Sorry, I don't own any Strats, but they do have a nice sound. Man, fuck, I'm digging mine. I got a knockoff Squire, but I don't even know a Squire was a Fender in the first place too. Well, she mentioned it one day. I wouldn't select Shadows. Maybe it's Mexican. Check your headstock, Duncan. Check your headstock for a serial
trademark, including in referencing individual guitars and their corresponding domain address. Here's an example of that happening. This is the 1979 Fernandez that I referenced earlier, and the title of the listing includes the word Stratocaster. Given Cool Old Guitars is not an authorized Fender distributor, and our client does not have a relationship with and has never authorized or licensed Cool Old Guitars' use or sale of goods under or by reference to Fender's trademarks, one can only conclude that Cool Old Guitars have deliberately and willfully engaged in the above action with a view to leveraging Fender's significant reputation and valuable intellectual property rights.
It's kind of weird, isn't it? Because everyone that buys a secondhand guitar, I mean, if I went into a pawn shop and saw a Strat on the wall, I would assume it's a knockoff. Like, hang on, sorry. If you see a Strat on the wall at Cashies and it's like $80 or 110 or something, you're assuming that that's not a real Strat, right? You don't ever, like, they're more expensive than, like, the retailer COG could just put their stuff up and just include the image. You don't need to call it the Strat because we all know what it's either an original or it's a knockoff. You know what I mean? Like, I thought with guitars, it was common knowledge that unless you're paying top dollar, you're getting a knockoff. That's what I thought. The big brands usually have cheaper sub-brands like Fender Squire or Gibson Epiphone. Okay. It reminds me that my first Gibson was a Les Paul knockoff. It might not have been, though, but I bought it from a pawn shop in Sydney. It might have been an original. We just assumed it was a knockoff. We didn't never check, though. Kind of weird. Yeah. Interesting.
That's certainly a conclusion, but it's not the only conclusion.
We're
talking about a lot of guitars here that could absolutely be described as Strat copies. Fender's own CEO says that you shouldn't be calling these guitars S-types, you should be calling them Stratocasters. But if you do, we'll threaten to sue you. Make it make sense.
Calling it simply the S style or the S shape is an attempt to diminish and whitewash.
Now, I want to be very clear here. Fender absolutely have the legal right to do what they're doing here. They have the trademarks for the word Stratocaster.
My Strat coffee cost me $20. Sounds great. How'd you get it for that cheap, dude? That's super cheap.
Telecaster, Strat, Tele, Fender, Squire, and a lot of others, but those are the big ones. they have those trademarks, so they absolutely can send this letter. And it's not an obscenely crazy demand either, especially in comparison to some of the other Fender cease and desists we've seen, where there's a demand of inventory destruction. This demand is a lot more doable. It's simply to cease and forever desist using Fender's trademarked names in any of the sales of instruments that are not Fender's.
That's fair, man.
That's not crazy, and it looks like, based off the website of this guitar store, they're doing that. However,
they could put in brackets, looks like a Strat. If they wanted to, they could put that, right? Looks like a Stratocaster. A friend sold them to me, paid 120. Dude, that's a good deal.
Draw a couple of points of criticism.
By the way, do you still have it?
Of course, the one I've already made, where Fender's own CEO is saying that you shouldn't be calling these S-types, but this is the pure example of, if you use the word Strat, we'll sue you.
Coke/Cola,
So
right on was.
everyone's going to call them S-types. Another point of criticism that I think is definitely worth bringing up here is that Fender state in the cease and desist, one of the problems that they have is that if you search up Stratocaster in the search bar of this website, you get some guitars that are Fenders and others that are not. Furthermore, we note that searches for Fender and Fender product names and trademarks such as Stratocaster and Talent.
That's fair. If you're searching up Stratocaster, it shouldn't bring up knockoffs, right? That's fair. Yeah, there's not much in this, I don't think.
Cause customer confusion. Well, if that's the case,
you lost it when you were homeless.
It's the exact same thing on Reverb. If you search up Stratocaster on Reverb, you will get Fender Stratocasters. But you will also get guitars from a multitude of other companies. You'll get ESPs and Fernandez as well. There's no difference. But then again, maybe there is one big difference. Who is the majority owner of Fender? Servco. Who co-owns Reverb? Servco. Who gets a cut of every guitar sold on Reverb? It seems to me that if this used guitar store shifted its listings from...
I didn't really know this was such a huge problem. Fender is quite literally speedrunning corporate suicide. Wow. Yeah, okay. Well, there you go. Let's move on, folks. You know what I'm going to do? What time is it? We've given Dale 1.5 hours, and he's not here. There's an acoustic guitar here at Rehab. Okay. There's been a bit of backlash from that, has there? Okay. Well, look, we did wait long enough, and Daleskin's not turning up here by the look of it. So I do want to go ahead and have a look at this video. Dale did request that we did it with him, but yeah, he ain't here. And I don't think he's coming. I could wait longer. I'm just checking the... Oh, no, I closed the Discord. But I couldn't wait. I can't wait any longer. This is the image that shouldn't exist video from Elfsar. Let's take a look.
This one prompt changed how AI responded to me. Hey there, it's Elfsar Plays! How you doing? Figured I crashed your video because you seem like you need help.
Okay. Production.
This image shouldn't exist. Not because I couldn't imagine it.
Is that Luke Skywalker as He-Man?
Image shouldn't exist.
Is that what that's supposed to be? Luke Skywalker as He-Man? Duncan, I only care about how the fretboard feels to play. I can work with anything. Me too, man. Yeah, I don't, like, I'm stoked I own this, and like props to my ex for getting it for me, but yeah, I probably wouldn't have bought it.
Not because I couldn't imagine it.
This toy comes with something that can really open up a kid's imagination. Its own legend.
He-Man! I've imagined images like this my entire life. The problem was, I wasn't sure I could still create them. This image shouldn't exist. At least not without help. I've been drawing most of my life. I've owned and operated an art gallery / collectible shop. I've helped others with art. I've streamed art live for years. I've spent thousands upon thousands of hours trying to become a better artist. And yet, this image sat just beyond my reach. Not because I believed I lacked the skill, not because I lacked the vision, because my body, my age and my physical injury, started fighting back. For the last couple of years, I've been dealing with wrist problems that have forced me to rethink how I create art.
Wait, is that how he had the injury?
I've been dealing with...
Is that him falling down, Elfsar?
Fighting back. For the last couple of years, I've been dealing with wrist problems that have forced me to rethink how I create art, how I live stream art, how I can create art at the speed that I did just a few years ago. The ideas never stopped coming, the desire to create never went away, but my ability to physically execute those ideas started changing. And that's when I did something I never thought I'd do. With this piece, I started experimenting with AI. Now, before you click away, this isn't a video about replacing artists. This is not a video about typing words into a prompt box and pretending you painted the Mona Lisa. This is a video about a traditional artist.
Comtech, his dog pulled him and he fell. And that was the footage of it from like a Ring camera or something? Damn, dude. Ouchie mama.
Trying to answer the question, can AI help artists create things they otherwise couldn't? Today, I'm going to show you how a simple He-Man painting turned into one of the most challenging art projects.
Just as we progress through this, I'll say Elfsar's taking a stab at like something for the kids, right? Like the youth they're gonna love the editing of this, the snappiness of it, the little quirky bits. I get that. I can't do it though, but I understand why he's doing it this way. Just the style choices in this video he's aiming it at a younger audience by the look of it.
I've ever worked on. Not because it was difficult to draw, because it forced me to question what it means to be an artist in the age of AI. You'll see every stage of the journey, the successes, the failures, the moments that surprised me, and the questions I'm still trying to answer, including one very important question. Is this artwork actually mine? Or did I get so lost in the tools that helped me create it? And my hope is by the end of this video, you will maybe have a better understanding of my journey and struggle with AI. It's the first time I can say that AI stopped feeling like a replacement for artists to me. It started to feel like the best art assistant I've ever had, which is not where I expected this story to go. So let's start where every artwork starts, with an idea, the dream image. I've been a He-Man fan for over 40 years. Like many kids growing up in the 80s, He-Man wasn't just a cartoon. Yes, it was a glorified toy commercial. But to an 8-year-old me, he was larger than life. The Power Sword, Castle Grayskull, Skeletor, the idea that an ordinary person could become extraordinary. When the new Master of the Universe...
Hold on a second. Self-acknowledgement here. Is it wrong that I didn't get into that stuff as a kid? I was not bamboozled by He-Man and the Masters of the Universe at all. This stuff went right past me and I didn't give a shit. I know a lot of kids at school were absolutely frothing for it. I wasn't. I didn't, and I feel like I might have missed out on a crucial part of youth by not being involved. It's all about personal taste. I personally cannot imagine why anyone would want to procure even the most perfect image of He-Man. It's likely that when I stream again, it'll involve art. You're going to do art streams, H-Man. Nice. What cartoons did you watch? So pretty much most of the stuff that I saw would have been like Roadrunner, Battle of the Planets, blip blop blip blop blip. Remember that dude? Neptune, blip blop, that guy. And Seven Zark 7. Yeah. Battle of the Planets. Probably the Superman like universe, like the Halls of Justice, where Superman and Batman and they all hung out together. Space Ghost. Don't remember Space Ghost. Battle of the Planets was they had that ship that turned into the Phoenix when it caught on fire and stuff. Same here. He-Man sucked. I mean, people went crazy for it when I was younger. He-Man was pretty good for kids, always had a moral to the story at the end. Okay, I look, maybe I missed a crucial part of youth by not being involved, but yeah, I just didn't gel to it. Didn't see it, didn't. If anything, Transformers was the same kind of timing as that, and I feel like if I slanted anyway, which I didn't, it would probably be leaning towards Transformers. Battle of the Planets, respect. Yeah, man, Battle of the Planets. Jason? Was that one of the characters' names? Me neither. Heading for a top 5 cartoons for everyone. We should do top 5 cartoons.
First movie hit theaters. I knew I wanted to create my own He-Man piece. Not because anyone asked me to, not because I planned to sell it.
So we understand that Elfsar created that image at the start and he used AI to help him along the way, but not to do it all. He drew it, or he traced it, he sketched it, and then he used AI to finalize it and clean it up, maybe?
I wanted it for me, something I'd be proud to hang on my wall. I had an image in my head. I wanted He-Man to be a nod to the cartoon that I enjoyed every day after school, you know, holding that power sword, lightning exploding in every direction. Castle Grayskull.
It's funny, I can remember the sayings though, right? By the power of Grayskull. That was one of the sayings, by the power of Grayskull.
A version of the character that felt epic. I first found images that I wanted to draw inspiration from the cartoon. And I even found some AI images to just kind of help inspire me. The image in my head was bigger than my ability to execute it, at least with the time and physical limitations I currently have. But I didn't know that yet. So I started drawing live on stream. The traditional version. This was the first stage. Traditional watercolor. Ink, brushes.
Wait. Where did the image come from?
The traditional version.
Wait, you just started and there's already an image there? Wait a sec, Elfsar. Did you just trace that, dude? The first scene. Go back.
On stream. The traditional version.
Dude, the first scene. How do you go back again, Hendrik? That's not how it's done. Ah! Did he? I'm just saying, did he just trace it? Oh, now some sketch lines first.
I said you take all the time you want.
Thank you. I will. I'll take all the time I want. Playback speed. Got to put it back to 0, right? To 1. He may have a picture off to the side and then he freehand draws from it. Maybe, yeah. I mean, that would be the start. I'd assume he draws it, right? He's not tracing it, I'm assuming.
This was the first stage. Traditional watercolor. Ink, brushes, everything I've always loved about making art.
Cool.
And honestly, I was pretty happy with it.
That's pretty.
Composition worked.
Dude, that's a finished image. That's good. Leave it there.
She was there. People seemed to enjoy the stream. By the end of the first stream, we had a good foundation. The second stream, I started making adjustments. The execution kept nagging at me though. It wasn't really the image I had in my head, not yet. I kept looking at it thinking, dang, maybe I should have made this bigger. The level of detail
Can't you just pinch to zoom? Of course you cannot. With these things, it's like, I mean, I'm not an artist, but I'm assuming you're stuck, right? Like once it's done, it's done. How do you know it's done though? Like it looked done before, but now it's even more done.
To put in the work.
Little mouth on him. Bing, 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 bing.
I was fighting my tools to cooperate, especially when I was doing the lightning. I kept asking myself, what if Grayskull felt more intimidating? What if the atmosphere was darker? The farther I pushed the idea mentally, the farther away it felt physically.
Wait.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets.
Where does AI come into this? I love some of the old movie posters that are painted but look like a photo, like RoboCop. Right, yeah. I mean, what I think he's going to do, he's going to then scan it, right? Chuck it into AI and say, animate it, give it life, maybe?
I thought to myself, okay, I think I will have to do a lot of this work digitally. I then took a high-res picture of the art, brought it into Photoshop, and began to work on that art of retouching, adjusting, redrawing, and adding detail, all the while being careful not to completely change the art. The finished, what I call tradigital art,
Tradigital,
looking good. But even
dude,
then,
I mean, fucking hell, man. At that point, you're done, right? Like, that's rad. This guy doesn't need AI. Exactly, Duncan. Elfsar, put the pen, stop clicking. You're finished, man. It's rad. It's finished. That's insane, dude.
It is absolutely impossible.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult, but you got to put the pen down, man. Yeah, that's incredible, dude. You've nailed it. It's a shame it's copyrighted, though. I mean, I'm assuming that's copyrighted, right?
even then, it was not 100% what I had in my head. Am I getting worse?
What is going on in that head of yours? Elfsar, let's peel open that bald scalp of yours. What's going? Look at that pause we've got on there. He looks very, very concerned. Man, you've got this image and you're not happy with it? That's done, man. It's completed. It's so good.
Even then, it was not 100% what I had in my head. Am I getting worse as an artist? And if you've been creating art for a long time,
just an ad?
You know how dangerous that thought
I thought he was going to throw to an ad. And if you've been creating art for a long time, you need these pencils. Look down below in the description for an affiliate link.
Because once that question gets into your head, every brushstroke starts carrying a little bit more weight. Am I slowing down? Am I losing something? Am I simply changing? My curiosity led me to something I thought I would never do. Enter AI. How would AI react to my work?
I got to go back. If anything, the AI sapped its authenticity. Interesting. Look, I'm going to cheat here because we're at Act 3. The image shouldn't exist. This image at the start, right? That's what we wind up with. I feel like before we've even seen the AI version or the AI introduction, we're already pretty close to that, right? This image here, it's pretty much done, right? Hendrik, am I best off talking to you via Discord, DM, or Messenger? At the moment, Discord, because I'm not signed into any of the Facebook stuff. I mean, Messenger is different, I guess, but don't Twitter me. Don't DM me in Twitter because I'm not opening that. I'm not touching Twitter until the World Cup's finished. But so enter the AI. But that's what I don't get. Like these two images, before we've even hit the AI, that already looks rad. Anyway.
Enter AI. How would AI react to my work? Now, I want to be very clear here. AI didn't come up with this idea. AI didn't recreate He-Man. AI didn't create the composition. AI didn't create the story.
But let me ask you this, Elfsar. Did AI create the concept of this video? Did you say, I've got this dilemma in my head about AI and about painting. Come up with a script for me that would be a compelling video based upon this image. Is that what's going on here? Is that what you've done? I'm heading back to the communal lounge note to do some more diamond dotting. Okay, have fun, Hendrik. Cool, man. Enjoy, dude. Thanks for swinging by, man.
I did. My artwork of He-Man already existed. The idea already existed. The question was, could AI help me explore more possibilities? So I started experimenting, and honestly, I was horrified at what came out.
Oh my God! That's shit.
Really terrible. But then I started to see a possibility, a spark, a direction I hadn't considered. The unexpected superpower. It completely caught me off guard, and it had nothing to do with the generation of artwork. I asked AI to critique mine. Now let's be honest.
Critique it. Okay, these are all pretty straightforward.
Honest, most artists have heard critiques before. Art school critiques, online critiques, convention critiques, the occasional random guy on the internet who's convinced your anatomy is wrong despite never drawing anything themselves. But this was different. Why? Because before asking for feedback, I gave AI a very specific instruction. Please commit.
I think it needs to be said what AI agent you're using for this, Elfsar. Please commit this to memory. I want you to prioritize substance over compliments. Never soften criticism. If an idea of mine has holes, say it directly. Have you, challenge my assumptions, point out errors. Yeah, it looks like he's talking to ChatGPT here.
This to memory. I want you to prioritize substance over compliments to me. Never soften criticism. If an idea of mine has holes, say so directly. This won't work because of X is better than have you considered. Challenge my assumptions, point out errors. Useful feedback matters more than comfortable feedback.
Yeah.
This one prompt changed how AI responded to me.
So ChatGPT in particular has a habit, or I guess it's not a habit, it's a preloaded angle, if you like, where it wants to nudge you in a direction, but it also wants to compliment you along the way. Like even if you've done the wrong thing, it'll try to tell you it's too out of the box. It's too soft around the edges. Like if a mate told you something, they'd tell you up front, you fucked that up, dude, and this is the reason. ChatGPT will say, well, everyone does make mistakes, so here's where you might want to consider doing something different next time. No, just tell me up front what went wrong. And I know that at least, well, I've used ChatGPT extensively for certain things, but that's one side of AI. Then you go on to, and by the way, what Elfsar's doing here, like real life content, like asking about something that a tangible drawing in this instance, and also in my example, asking about a tangible situation, that's different than using an AI agent for coding, which is what I've been doing in the last sort of month or two. And I feel like the coding thing, if anything, I feel like AI is made for coding. It doesn't seem... Because computer language is the language of the program has to follow a certain layout and syntax. All this stuff has to be there. So the AI agent knows this. So if you create like in my example, making this chat overlay stuff, if I want to give it something, I can send it an image and say, this is what I want. And I know that to get there, I need a style sheet, like a CSS style sheet. I need it linked to a JavaScript page with the back end. And I need it to be modular so that I can add another thing to it. And I need these colors. And the AI agent can spit that back out to you. And it does it first time, every time, because it knows these languages. It knows JavaScript, it knows style sheets, it knows HTML, and it doesn't give you anything wrong. The problem, and I'm not sure if Elfsar is going to come up to a similar thing with a tangible object like a drawing, but the problem I've found with code is that there are so many ways to do or to get to the same result. And so you might, and it happened right here on this stream, when I loaded up that overlay and the trumpet didn't display itself until I refreshed it. This is a thing that I've encountered for the last 2 to 3 weeks. Unless you command R, refresh your trouser, one of my overlays doesn't receive anything from the WebSocket until you refresh. So I've said to the agent, I've said, I need you to write like a certain handshake or a ping or a pong. I need you to connect this WebSocket not momentarily. I need you to make sure this WebSocket is open. And even if it's not receiving anything from the overlay, I need it to still be ready to receive it. And so at this point, you would think that it would just spit back the correct code. But the problem is there's many different ways to achieve that same directive. And so, and I thought I'd resolved it, but then we go live and we do a stream and it still didn't work. So I've got to then go back, and much like Elfsar did just before, you've got to make sure that the thing that you want it to do, you give it the explicit instruction, and you need to even say things like I'll come back later on after the stream and say, hey, I noticed that the pop-up overlay, because I've got the chat lane overlay and the pop-up overlay. I'm going to say, I noticed that the pop-up overlay still doesn't receive any test stream alerts, even when the WebSocket overlay, the chat lane, is functioning. Now, can you go and look at the WebSocket, the chat overlay, look at its WebSocket coding and duplicate that into the overlay for the pop-up so that then they're both the same, because one of them's working, the other one's not. That's the way I've worded it before, and it still hasn't quite nailed it. So I've obviously got to go back in and finesse my questioning or finesse my statement. There's a few things like that I've come up against. Like, let's say, I don't want to go too deep into this because it's nonsense, but let's say I've got a block of code, and each time we make changes, let's say this code does multiple things. Like it doesn't just fix one thing, or let's say it's cascading style sheet. Let's say it's a CSS and it's linked to the JavaScript. Let's say that puts my my logo and the date. Okay, let me show you. Let's say we're talking about this, the style sheet that puts my logo up the top here, and with these givers watching underneath it and the date at the top. So the style sheet handles all three of these things. These are three separate modules. One of them, my logo, is a video or a web.m file, and the givers watching is text with an API endpoint to receive the numbers. And there's obviously the Beam logo. And then this date up here is just a straight up HTML auto date code that I found on the internet. So these three things have to tie in together, and they've got to be laid out. They've got to be able to be zoomed in and maintain their aspect ratio and all that kind of cool stuff. So when I fixed one of them, and I started off with the logo because I thought that was ChatGPT. Tell me I'm perfect. Say it louder. Right. Yeah, when I first did this, I put in the logo, and then I had to add the givers watching now. And of course, every single time I did that, it would move the logo. And I would have to stop it and say, whatever you're doing to the layout of the viewers watching is fucking up the logo. So from here on in, revert back or roll back to the previous version where the logo was correct. And now lock the logo in place and don't do anything. Like, none of the changes that you give me should affect the logo at all. Almost ignore the logo, pretend it's not there. So only give me things that are going to match what we've already got. And also use the pixel dimensions and layout of the logo to marry up the viewers watching so that it's underneath it, but not so it's centered, but not. See how it's a square or a rectangle with it's a tab. It's a button, but it's got a outline. Well, if you put that too low, then you could see the top of the outline. I didn't want that. So I said, I want this to be positioned exactly. And my point here is you have to give the exact question. And if you don't cover it, it's like talking to a dummy, right? Like, you have to say everything. You can't assume it knows things. You have to say it to it. So again, do everything that you can to position this, but do not touch the logo. And you have to speak to it in terms that It's already understood. Like if you, instead of calling this a logo, if you called it a header, the GivesAMinute, if you called that a header, then you can't just start referring to it like a logo. You have to keep referring to it as the header. Unless you say, by the way, from now on in, whenever we talk about the logo, I'm actually referring to the header. You have to give, because what it'll do, it'll start creating this code based around this. Suddenly there's this thing called the header, which didn't exist before, and it just does it. And then the next thing you know, you're 7 different commits down the line, and you don't, like, it's all fucked up, and you're like, what happened? And then it says, then it will come back and say, well, the header's in the wrong spot. And you're like, what's the header? And you're like, oh, that's because I said header. I should have said logo the whole time, you know? Like it, and that's why this takes so long, because you get so close, and then it's up to you to give the wrong command, and then you go right back down to the beginning. It's horrible, man. It's I don't know what Elfsar is going to say, but I've had an interesting experience with this because it's so rad, but it's also super frustrating. Like, it's incredibly frustrating, but it's also, it couldn't, like, I couldn't be where I am with my overlay without AI. I'm using Copilot. I think Elfsar is using ChatGPT, but I couldn't be there without it.
Hey there, it's Elfsar Plays. How you doing? I figured I crashed your video because you seem like you need help. Hey, how you doing? Well, I figured. Okay. I figured I'd play devil's advocate here for you because why not, right? Sure. All right. Okay. So basically, you told it don't be nice. Exactly. What happened next surprised me because it didn't just tell me the artwork was good. It started pointing out the actual weaknesses. Places where the composition wasn't working, areas where the focal point was competing with itself, silhouette that were kind of merging together, lighting problems, readability issues, things I genuinely hadn't noticed. One of the most useful examples was when it actually generated a visual critique for me, not a replacement artwork, a critique, a paint over showing exactly where the eye was getting confused, where the contrast was being lost, where elements were competing for attention. And suddenly I
competing?
Where the contrast was being lost, where elements were competing for attention.
Why'd you cut that there?
I was getting confused, where the contrast was being lost, where elements were competing for attention. And suddenly I wasn't having a conversation with a machine generating images. I was having a conversation with something that could analyze visual design principles. So you're telling me that your expensive art education got replaced by a chatbot? No, not replaced. But let's just say there was a moment where I looked at the critique and thought, I paid a lot more for this in art school.
Let's just say this. You're not going to go back from now, are you? You're never going to not use it now that you've seen how good it can be.
Impressed me wasn't that it was always right. Sometimes it wasn't. Sometimes I disagreed. But that's the true thing about every critique I've ever received. The value wasn't in the blindly accepting feedback. The value was in having someone or something forcing me to look at my own work differently, without ego, without pride, without prejudice. And that's when I started realizing AI might be useful in ways I hadn't expected, not just as a creative tool.
I think what he's doing here is intriguing because, like I said, this is different when it's a tangible piece of art, which you can go back and add, or can you take off? You can't take brush strokes away, can you? You can only add more brush strokes. Yeah, intriguing.
But as a learning tool, honest feedback. I wasn't using AI like a replacement artist. I was using it like an art assistant, the most powerful art assistant I've ever worked with. I got it to separate elements that I could better position for a better composition that I struggled to see when I was putting pen to paper. The debate. So let me get this straight. You told the computer what you wanted and it made the art. No. It looks suspiciously like that was what happened. Listen, even after I took the advice from the critique, okay? I went back in and I started digitally painting on top of the piece. Corrections here and there, fixing lighting, altering stuff. When I worked with other mediums, did the brushes create the image? Did the camera, when I took the picture, to create the image? Did Photoshop create the image once I scanned it in and manipulated it? Tools don't create ideas. Artists do. Okay, forgive the pun, but where do we draw the line? That's exactly the question. I don't think every use of AI is the same. There's a huge difference between generating something randomly and intentionally directing every step of the creative process. And I think that distinction matters a lot. Generative AI versus AI-assisted art. Okay, before we go any further, I think we need to define something, because throughout this video, I've used the term AI, but not all AI artwork is created the same way. And I think that's where a lot of these conversations go off the rails. Okay, Professor, what's the difference? Let's start with generative AI. Imagine I open an AI program and type, "Epic He-Man standing in front of Castle Grayskull with lightning." A few seconds later, it creates an image. Maybe I like it. Maybe I don't. Maybe I generate 20 more. Eventually, I pick my favorite. And that's what I would call generative AI art. The artist is mostly selecting from a result. So basically, prompt, button, poop out an image. At its simplest, yes. Now let's compare that to what happened with this project. This image started here, not with AI, with a pencil, with a brush, with years of experience, with an idea I'd been carrying around in my head. The subject was already chosen, the composition was already chosen, the story was already chosen, my goal was already chosen. I then moved to a digital version where I was able to refine the image even more. Now, does my mix of traditional methods with digital painting make it no longer my art? Well, no.
It's interesting.
Traditional methods with digital painting make it no longer
that image there, like I'm going to say it again, that looks finished to me.
My art?
Is that not the finished image?
More. Now, does my mix of traditional methods with digital painting make it no longer?
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab a screenshot of that. And I'm going to run that through my own. Well, let's get to the end of the video first, but then we'll do our own little AI generative assist.
My art? Well, no, it's still all you. So now, with me using AI, not to create the artwork, but to help explore possibilities, different castles, different lightning, different atmospheric effects, different energy effects, different ideas, some good, some terrible, many terrible. Oh my God! Let's be honest, some were really bad. Yes, but every now and then, there was something useful, something worth exploring, something that pushed this piece closer to what I imagined. All right, so what's the difference? For me, the difference is authorship. With generative AI, the AI is often creating the solution. With AI-assisted art, the artist is still creating the vision. The AI becomes part of that workflow, like Photoshop, like a camera, like a reference library, like a very strange art assistant that occasionally has brilliant ideas and occasionally forgets how hands work. So you're saying AI isn't the artist? I'm saying
he's saying it's a tool.
Question. The better question, who's making the creative decisions? Because every tool influences the outcome. The brush influences the painting. The camera influences the photograph. The Photoshop influences digital art. AI influences AI-assisted art. But influence isn't the same thing as authorship. And that's where things get complicated. The hard questions.
So what he's...
Okay, you've danced around it long enough. Let's talk about the questions everybody's probably...
What he's trying to get at, I think, is that AI is just another tool in the palette.
Thinking. Fair enough. Question number one. Is this actually your artwork or does it belong to the AI? That is a surprisingly complicated question. And before we continue, I need to make something very clear, okay? Disclaimer. I am not a lawyer. Nothing in this video should be considered legal advice. I am simply sharing what I learned while researching these questions for myself, okay? If you're planning to sell artwork, license work, or build a business around AI-assisted work, talk to a qualified legal professional. Now, from what I've discovered, ownership depends heavily on how the artwork was created and where you live. When I started researching this, I expected a simple answer. I thought there would be a rule somewhere that clearly said, yes, this belongs to the artist, or no, this belongs to the AI. But that's not what I found.
Yeah, if you work for an agency and you create artwork, typically the agency owns the artwork. If you shoot photos for an agency, the agency owns the photo copyright. Same situation, I think. If you use AI, stop myself there. If you use AI to create the artwork, does the AI own it? Is the AI the agency? Interesting.
What I found was a lot of uncertainty. because technology is moving faster than the laws designed to deal with it. And honestly, that uncertainty makes artists nervous. It makes collectors nervous. It makes businesses nervous because nobody wants to invest hundreds of hours into something to only discover the rules of change later. And that's where the difference between generative AI and assisted AI come into play. Yeah, you mentioned that those are not the same thing. Let's use this He-Man piece as an example.
Here's the thing. I want to know how much of this script is AI. Because I see you reading it, Elfsar. I know you're reading, and you're reading. Wait, hold for 3 seconds while my counterpart speaks. Pause. This would have been difficult to make because he's got to leave the gaps and stuff. So I just wonder how much AI wrote this script for you. Because don't forget, this video is artwork. This video is a piece of art describing AI's usage in creating a piece of art. But the actual content itself, the YouTube video, is also a piece of art. And if you've used AI to generate a script based around this talking point, then you're still using AI to describe an artwork. It's all kinds of it's 7 layers deep. Too deep.
Example, okay? If I typed "make an epic He-Man standing in front of a Castle Grayskull" and then posted whatever came out, I would consider that primarily generative AI.
Let's do that. What was the command? Make an epic He-Man standing in front of Castle Grayskull. Can we just take a pause here to do that? Make, what was it again? Why didn't that zoom in? Something funky going on there. Okay, why did my ChatGPT not zoom in? Okay, it zoomed in multiple times then.
I wrote this script.
You better get that checked out. Man, what's going on? Good to see you, Benon. Thank you. What's the command again? Make an epic He-Man standing in front of Castle Grayskull. Make an epic He-Man standing in front of Castle Grayskull. Standing in front of Castle Grayskull. Is it Grayskull or Grayskull? Yeah, Grayskull. Let's see what it does here. Out of curiosity. Sketching it out. Making the first draft, creating image. Okay, what's it got here? I mean, to be fair, it's not that bad. That's not that bad, right? What about if we grab Elfsar's version? Not bad.
I think AI is going to be very dangerous.
Helpful. Interesting. Thank you, Mr. Poole. Not bad. Now try merging it with this one and create a composite. No, merging does create a composite. Now try merging it with this one for more powerfulness. And I'll just attach Elfsar's image here. see what happens when it takes what it's already done and merges it with the Elfsar image, which I took from the screenshot that we took from his stream. Just curious to see what it does. AI is going to be helpful. Interesting. I think AI is going to be helpful. Dangerous. Oh, wow, that's worse. So that's Elfsar's actual drawing. Actually, that's not bad, right?
This is reality.
Yes, this is reality. Actually, that's not bad, right? You can see through the sword, though. I mean, it goes from that to this. Can ChatGPT artists use and stay fashionable? Interesting. Let's continue on.
And then posted whatever came out.
That's garbage.
I would consider that primarily generative AI. The AI is doing most of the heavy lifting. The AI is making most of the creative decisions. The AI is determining composition, lighting, pose, anatomy, costume interpretation, the dozens of other artistic choices. But that's not what happened here. This piece started as my artwork. Now, granted, I based this piece on this cartoon image. Ultimately, my composition, my concept, my subject, my vision, my direction, my revisions, my decisions, AI became part of the process, not the entire process. And that's what I personally consider AI-assisted artwork. The AI wasn't driving. It was sitting in the passenger seat, sometimes helping now.
I think what he's saying here is you can use AI as you would use it. Like, let's say you went to the library and got out reference material and said, you sat down at a huge table with like 7 different books and laid them all out and went, okay, here's my image, or here's my idea of the image, and these are all the references. So I'm going to sit here for the next 7 hours and I'm going to combine all of those and bring them into one image. That's kind of what AI is doing in the artist sense, or in this example.
Navigate, sometimes suggesting a shortcut, sometimes suggesting a terrible idea that I ignored.
Okay, but legally, do you own it?
Again,
disclaimer.
Not legal advice.
I would say yes.
What I've discovered is that current laws in many places generally recognize copyright protection for human-created creative expression. The more human authorship involved, the stronger the claim tends to be. The more something is entirely generated by AI with minimal human input, the murkier things become. And the laws are still evolving. Some countries treat these questions differently than others. Some courts are still figuring it out. Some governments haven't fully decided yet. So if you're looking for a simple answer, I'm sorry. There isn't one, at least not yet.
Well, in the case of this image, you could just say, I didn't use AI. Like that, the final image, where is it again? This image, oh, we got that full screen, my bad. This image, you don't have to say that's AI. Like that doesn't look like an AI generated image to me. And now that we know it's not, like you don't have to ever say it's AI. And by the way, you've got the sketching out to prove that you drew it.
So you're saying nobody knows?
I'm saying we're living through the part where everyone is still figuring it out. Artists, lawyers, courts, companies, governments, everyone. And honestly, that's part of why these conversations matter.
Okay, then here's a big one. Are you going to sell prints of this?
That question has kept me up at night. Because this piece was originally made for me. I wanted something I could hang on my wall. Something that captured the version of He-Man that I had imagined in my head.
I thought it was Luke
Could
Skywalker.
I sell prints of this? Maybe. Would I feel comfortable doing that? I'm struggling. I have probably put more time into this piece of art that I have in anything I currently have in my shop. So,
Elfsar, why do you look like you're on a green screen? There's a bit of fuzz behind your head. Some chromatic aberration going on down here. Why would you green screen that? That's not a green screen.
Oh, mate.
What's the resolution here? Let's crank it up. Just wondering if it's not green screen, surely.
Maybe, but if I do, I want to be completely transparent. I would never.
He looks like he's green screened. Why would you green? Is it green screen because this gentleman, the other version of Elfsar, is the real one, and you're the green screen version? Because just saying, if you're going to green screen it, green screen all this shit out behind you, man. What's all this? Like you got a warehouse of cables and shit.
Never want someone buying a piece of the artwork under the impression that it was created entirely traditionally. If that was,
there's something funky going on up here around the glasses on Hatted Elfsar, but there's also something going on the top of the dome here. Can't work it out.
Wasn't true. The audience deserves honesty. Collectors deserve honesty.
I need honesty. I need honesty right now. What's with this green screening? What's going on here? Something weird going on. I don't get it. The arms on this, on Hatted Elfsar, it's all blurry, but then there's this blur on the top of your noggin as well. I don't get that. I don't get it.
Deserve honesty, and artists deserve honesty. Also, there's a danger because without being transparent, assumptions would be that, well, if this art had AI in it, then it discredits anything else I've ever done. Yes, I did most of these live on stream, but that won't stop people from making accusations. All of those accusations are harmful. It poisons the waters, so to speak.
Poisons the well is the saying. If this is green screened, do you reckon it's at the chair edge as well? The chair looks kind of fuzzy too. I don't know what's going on.
What's your final answer? Is AI art real art? I think that's the wrong question.
Wait, what happened then?
AI art real art? I think that's the wrong question.
There was a pause and then the background went darker after he says question.
Final answer. Is AI art real art? I think that's the wrong question.
Something went on then. The background changed ever so slightly. I think what's happening, Hatted Elfsar is on the real background. Bald Elfsar is AI, is green screened in front of it. That's what I think's going on. Whoa, whoa. Oh, here's the answer. Here's the answer. Look, it's right there, staring at us in the face, dude. Look at this computer monitor behind him. Look at the computer monitor. It just, see my mouse? The computer monitor goes along and stops and then jumps right down. You can see the line all the way down here. So there's two, okay, so yeah, Elfsar, his background, but that doesn't make sense though, because that line would go straight down his shoulder blade. Unless he's done a mask and it's just masked off this and then it's cut across here somehow.
The better question is, how much of the artist is in the work? Because that's what people have always connected with.
What collectors don't know can't hurt them. That's kind of like your story, Duncan, with the Sonic Youth stuff. Yeah, I mean, but that when you bought that thing on Discogs, at least the person was kind enough to tell you that it was, this is not real, fraudulent, and then you could still make the decision whether you wanted to purchase or not.
Not the brush, not the software, not the camera that took a picture, not.
Something going on behind him here with that line goes straight down here and there's a shadow along the back of the chair and I'm all confused.
Not, the artist.
By the way, Elfsar, I know this is not what you wanted me to review on your video. Like the idea of watching it was more about the AI stuff, but I'm more confused about the technology. Yeah.
The ideas, the choices, the vision. And that's the part I don't think.
Whoa. What's going on with your glasses, dude? What is going on here, Elfsar? What's this green shit? That's your green screen sketching out, right?
The ideas, the choices,
Yeah.
the vision. And that's...
Yeah, you've caught yourself there, man. The green screen sketching out. Look. And on your fingers too. Okay, well, okay. This just in. There actually isn't two Elfsars. They're both him. Oh, heavens above. I can't believe he worked it out. So we worked it out. You know, there isn't two identical people. You idiot.
And that's the part I don't think technology can ever replace. The final piece. This is where the project ended up, or at least where it sits today. And for the first time in a very long time, I looked at a piece and thought, yeah,
that's so good, dude.
That's the thing I was trying to create. Not because AI helped create it, because AI helped me get closer to what I already envisioned. Same way a reference photo helps.
Yeah, exactly. If I was telling someone about this image, I wouldn't even mention AI. If someone said, "Did you use AI to create that?" I would say no. I drew and painted this. And I took it into Photoshop and added highlights and did all kinds of things. Yeah. What's that emote there, Duncan, in Discord, in YouTube? Bullseye. The bullseye, right?
The same way Photoshop helps, the same way every tool helps. The final decisions were mine. The direction was still mine. The taste and choices that I made were still mine.
Yeah.
The vision was still mine, but the path was different. What happens next? This experience didn't make me love all AI art. Oh my God! It didn't magically answer every ethical question. It didn't make me stop drawing. In fact, it made...
There's your answer, dude. That line down the back of the TV, that's where his green screen's always been. Yeah. Why didn't you just do it the whole way across, though? That's what I don't get. Why'd you not green screen this bit out?
Made me kind of want to draw even more, explore more. AI is another tool. A tool that might help me continue creating as I get older. A tool that might help me work around physical limitations. A tool that might help bring ideas to life that otherwise stay trapped in my head. Will I keep using AI? Probably. Will I stop drawing? Absolutely not. Will every project use AI? Definitely not.
Yes, it will.
But I think...
See that little snigger? You know it will now. You know it's going to because you know how rad it is. Of course it will. When you get to a point, you'll be like, hey, I've got this image, which I'm 98% think it's finished, but could you just critique it for me? Why would you not? It's like saying, hey, I live next door to a library. I'm never going to go in there, though. Of course you're going to use it. In everything you're going to use it. I wonder if his image is now used to train AI. That's a gooder question. A gooder question, exactly. You know, he sniggered when he said, is every image going to use it? No. I'm never going to go back to that library ever again. I know that I know walking down the street, there is a massive amount of resources, but I'm not going in there. I'm too good. I'm going to walk right past it. You're going to go in there. You are going to go in there.
Every project use AI? Definitely not. But I think artists who could...
Definitely yes.
Will every project use AI? Definitely not.
That little laugh.
Drawing? Absolutely not. Will every project use AI? Definitely not. But I think artists who completely ignore this technology do so at their own risk. Because whether we like it or not, it's here. The question isn't whether AI exists. The question is how we choose to use it. As for this He-Man piece, I'm still debating whether it belongs on my wall. No, scratch that. It does belong on my wall. Maybe it belongs in my shop. Maybe it belongs nowhere except as an experiment. I haven't fully decided yet, but do know this. When I started this project, I thought AI might replace artists. And what I discovered instead was the best art assistant I've ever had. And maybe that's the lesson. The technology wasn't the story. The story was figuring out how to keep creating despite the obstacles trying to stop me. And I wasn't ready for that.
Wow. Interesting. Same for music these days. Yeah. Hey, Suno, generate me a sound that reminds me of the He-Man theme, but's not the He-Man theme. Now, I don't know if that is the He-Man theme or not, but I'm going to assume it's very close to it. Yeah, look, Elfsar, just as a penultimate conclusion here, I think the idea of, and I've already hit it, so I won't hit it too detailed again, but the idea of using AI to assist someone in creating a tangible piece of artwork in the sense of a drawing and like, you know, brush to paper, pen to paper kind of thing, that is a different world, one which obviously you're very familiar with. I feel that AI has multiple uses for many different things aside from that. And I think it's so early in the usage that in the next 3 to 4 years, I feel like it's going to be, everyone's going to know it. Everyone's going to be using it. Everyone's going to know it. And we're not really going to know, I don't think we're going to know a world where it doesn't exist. I think everything will just be AI. Do you know what I mean? Like it's so new and early that there's no reason not to embrace it right now and try to slot it into your workflow somehow in any regard. Which is why I took umbrage to you saying, will everything I do from now on use it? No, I think it will. And I think you know, like I think you know, and artists know that of course you'll run it through AI. Walk through any artist alley now and you'll see lots of AI art. Yeah. Some actually gets banned. It's at that early stage where everyone is still kind of weirded out by it. But that's the cusp of new tech. And it happens all the time. Like think back to before we all had smartphones, you know, like think back to before, like heaven forbid, Facebook, right? Think back to people saying, I'm not going to use fucking Facebook. Now everyone, okay, the boomers, they're all using it, right? Go back to 2007 when Facebook sort of was kicking off. You would be hard up to find someone, you'd say, what am I going to use that for? Like, why would I need an app that Facebook initially was an app to rate hot chicks in the school next to you, right? The university that's across the street, how many hot chicks are there? Check the Facebook. That's what it started as. But now everyone, and like the adoption rate of Facebook and like Facebook groups and like, you know, the memories, the photos and the albums and stuff, all that stuff, like it seems like you don't know anyone that doesn't use it, right? Like everyone's got a connection to it, whereas before nobody gave a fuck. So we're at that point where I think it's just starting and everyone's a little bit kind of like weirded out by it. But in the next 3 to 5 years, it'll be mainstream. Like I thought about this today when I was surfing. How long until, like I watched an old couple come down to the beach. When I say old, like I'm old, but when these were like elderly, like 70, 75 kind of, they walked down slowly to the beach and I was kind of not far from them. I looked up and I realized they were looking out at the ocean and pointing. And I was like, I looked behind me and there were dolphins coming through. And then I watched the old person reach into her like side of, not a pocket, but just into whatever she had a hip bag, bum bag, fanny pack, whatever. She pulled out and got out a phone and put it up like this and went. And what was she doing? She was using a smartphone to take a photo of dolphins. Go back in time, even 5 years, and you tell me a 75 to 80-year-old woman would, first of all, even own a smartphone and then be able to take it out and take a photograph of dolphins, which is a fair way out, right? So she had to activate the zoom feature. So my point is, just like these things were so foreign not long ago, are we going to see people opening up and adapting to AI and embracing it to the point where we don't even really know we're doing it? Right now, this old woman took out her phone. How long until instead of a phone, that becomes a drone? Right? Imagine a 75-year-old woman, look, the dolphins, out of her pocket, whips out a drone, flips open the things, flies over and gets a beautiful set of photos. Like you might say, that's ridiculous, dude. So's using one of these though, but they're all doing it. 5 years ago, 10 years ago, there's not a chance in hell an old person would be able to activate a phone, right? They're going to fly drones soon. When the old battlers are flying drones, we'll know we've come full circle. And then the AI will be there walking along hand in hand with the drones. That seems like a pretty damn good place to end it here. Before I get too ranty and too tangenty, let's put a little pin in that and we'll come back tomorrow and have a happy time. The handy is very handy, yes. Hey, thanks for being here with me on the stream. Appreciate you all.
I want to mow the lawn and go fishing.
I want to mow the lawn and get out there and go fishing. Thank you, Elfsar, for creating that content. Appreciate you all. Hey, man. Speaking of drones, I'm going to buy one. Actually, we're looking at that tomorrow. I said I'd buy it at the beginning of August. We're looking to it tomorrow. Yes, we will. And then I'll give it to an old battler.
Auto means that it'll turn on or off whenever need be.
Thank you, Jay Christina. We don't want this video to go on too long.
New Zealand's vibe, surfing waves day to night.